Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Merriman?
Here.
Mr. Mattern?
Here.
Dr. Scarpone?
Present.
Fiscal Officer, Ms. Morrison? Present. Solicitor, Mr. Lynn?
He's
Mayor-
coming.
Mayor Mike Petrella?
Absent.
Administrator, Mr. Kasegi?
Present.
Mr. DeStefano?
Here.
Mr. Spence?
Here.
Mrs. Dameron?
Before we stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance, I just wanted to congratulate our mayor, Mike Petrella, and his wife, Emily, on their 7-pound, 8-ounce baby girl. Everybody is healthy and at home. They're getting settled in. That's why I'm stepping in the mayor for tonight's meeting. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council has in front of you the minutes from the previous council meeting, December 21st, 2023. Take a look at that, and can I get a motion to accept these minutes?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak before council? Okay. Let's see, to start off, 2024, since we didn't have our meeting last week, we have to have nominations for president of council. Can I get a motion to open the floor for nominations for president of council?
So moved.
Second.
I'd like to nominate, wait, sorry, you get to do that. Go ahead.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
I'd like to nominate Randy Spence for president of council.
Second.
I'll put forth a motion to close nominations.
Second. Oh.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
We'll need a vote now to approve Randy Spence for council president for 2024. So moved. Second.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, council. I appreciate it. I see Mr. Jake showed up. We also need to vote on the council rules. If anybody would like to see any changes, we can wait till the next meeting, but if no one would like to change it, we can get a motion to accept council rules for 2024.
I don't have any changes or objections to go ahead and approve the rules for 2024 at this point.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
If anybody would like to experience a different committee, let me know. I'll put them together and have the new committee list by next meeting. And I see our solicitors just in time for ordinances, if we have any.
Well, I don't know of any. Do we have any? No.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll move on to announcements. The only announcement we have so far is in the near future, which I believe is maybe next week or the week after, we're going to start taking down the village Christmas decorations, weather permitting. If you see the village trucks along Main Street, please slow down and be careful. And that takes us to reports and communications. The monthly mayor's magistrate court report. City revenue was $11,456. State revenue was $2,612. And other revenue was $102, which brings the total revenue to $14,170 for the period of December 2023. Let's see. Now we have, since we didn't have a meeting last month, or 2 weeks ago, I'm going to read two Wintersville Police Department reports. One is for the ending, December 2023, and one is for the year-end police report. So for the complaints in December 2023, we had 169, 83 traffic arrests, 4 criminal arrests, 7 accidents, 21 cases, 14 alarm calls, 19 juvenile cases, 288 incoming calls for the month, 3 parking violations, 1 impound, 3 canine requests, and 49 auxiliary hours logged to the police department. So now for the year-end police report for 2023, the total complaints of that year was 1,778 complaints. Traffic arrests were 803. Criminal arrests were 61. Accidents, 141. Cases, 275. Alarm calls, 161. 153 juvenile cases. 97 nuisance code enforcement cases. And 2,308 incoming calls, with 16 parking violations, 19 vehicle impounds, 12 canine uses, and 244 log auxiliary hours. Let's see. And next will be the code enforcement report for December 1st to December 31st, 2023. We had 5 licenses come in at $375 and 6 permits coming in at $375, with a grand total of $750 for the month of December. Mr. Lockhart?
Thank you. Thank you, Robert Lockhart, your representative to 2 agencies I'll be talking about. The first one was my attendance at, along with Councilman Matter, January 10, 7 Ranges meeting, and that's the fire district. That was at the 911 center. With regard to other than the general operation, payment of bills, and approval of minutes, the main issue was concerning a problem with regard to the initial resolution and the formation of the district. There was a question with regard to specific items within, limited specific items covering 2 attorneys, and that this matter was resolved in discussion with the 2 attorneys and our legal representative to the district. And the matters were discussed and resolved, and one of the attorneys is present here, and I assume this is correct.
I know we've been speaking with their attorney, and me and the attorney for Crossridge both spoke with their attorney at one time. So I think we are pretty sure we're ready to go forward on that and accept it when we have the resolution created.
Okay. Okay, with regard to, other than that, the breakdown of the tentative contract signing of all of the fire departments associated with the district. March 13th would be the signing of the contracts. Other than that, at this meeting, the figures and percentages allocated to each department was approved. And at that next meeting, the contracts will be signed by representatives of the specific departments. Other than that, there was a matter with regard to any further details on the part of Rob Harrington expounding upon one issue that came up during the meeting.
Yeah,
And Jason was going to contact him.
Yeah, before we roll into that, just to clarify, when Island Creek came on into Seven Ranges, they modified the agreement or the bylaws. That's the foundation of Seven Ranges, okay? So they brought that forth to a brand-new solicitor and another solicitor over in Cross Creek that may not, have seen this before. So they did a thorough review of it and wanted to tweak it a little bit to, clarify some things. So the Seven Ranges is in great shape with the bylaws. It's just a matter of dotting the i's, crossing the t's, and making sure all the, solicitor news is what he needs in there is in there. Dotting the i's and crossing the t's. So we're in great shape there. The other thing that brought up is next meeting they're going to sign contracts, but they're also going to bring their results from 2023. So how many calls they went on, how many ambulance runs did they do? So that's always a very interesting part of our responsibilities over there is to see how many calls are going on out. The last thing that was brought up, and Warren, you might be throwing you a softball here. You might, it would be nice to get Rob up here to give the technicals, dot the i's and t's. But what's happening is there seems to be a couple entities that may be under contract where they're not calling 911, they're calling another responding ambulance service or something, okay? So this entity is under contract, and if they call that other entity now says, okay, we'll ship out this ambulance guy, or we'll do this, instead of calling 911. And it could take 30 seconds. It could take 3 minutes for this determination. So there's an absolute delay from getting the 911 moving because of these contracts. So it's something you want to think about. I mean, if your grandmother is living at a facility that does this, or your mother's there, and they're under a contract where they contact somebody other than 911 and Wintersville, inside of Wintersville, that's concerning. That 3 minutes could be the matter of life and death. And this Seven Ranges, this Wintersville Fire Department, and I'll speak on everyone on Seven Ranges, they are more than qualified, and they are here. They are absolutely here in Wintersville and can respond quicker than anybody else outside of this entity. So listen, I have faith. Now I really think Rob, we should get him to come on up and clarify those things. But I'm telling you, it's for me, the moral thing to do is to make sure we have the quickest response by the best responders, and we have that in Wintersville. And I stand by that statement.
Okay. I think at one point there was a few of these nursing homes or entities have contracted with a different organization other than local fire department, we'll say. And it's as a result of that, it's up for that contracting entity to get there in time to take care of. And sometimes it takes a little longer for them to get organized and get that taken care of. And that was discussed, and I think it needs to be looked at regarding all of the local communities that have an issue with regard to response of services, especially in dire need times. Other than that, the second meeting was a reorganizational meeting, and Scott Campbell was again voted in as chairman, and I got stuck with the vice chairmanship. So other than that meeting was closed quickly by me. Other than that, the only thing I have with that Seven Ranges, the other problem I have now is VHJ. January 17 went to that meeting, and it was rather long, and Congresswoman Patty Scarbo was there, and she took detailed information and copious notes. So the main thing is with regard to this meeting, The Federal Department of Transportation last year requested specific information from the states as to verifying accidents, safety programs. There were 5 steps that each state had to comply with. Ohio complied with each one of these and basically covered several safety issues in connection with travel, accidents, reporting, etc. West Virginia did not do anything at the time, but subsequent to that, they have issued a compliance in that they actually issued their compliance. They met the standards to a degree from the Department of Transportation, but if I may just look at this real quick, there was as far as their aim and toward the future of reducing fatalities in the state of West Virginia, in those 2 counties we have over there, and the state itself. They did not indicate any change with regard to projections for the future in this next coming year, period of time. And there's a 0 increase in reducing the number of road fatalities that was previously set in the past by the state. Also, serious injuries were set at a figure of 66% projected out to 2050. And these are figures that the Department of Transportation requested, and it should have been, it's been handled by both states and within the counties of BHJ. That's been taken care of. Several other issues with regard to the matter as details were set out. All of the allocations for BHJ for 2021 through 2022 but covered areas like down in Rayland. They had the park and ride. That money was spent there. And there's money allocated for paths and bike routes and all that. But the signals, the project of Route 7 signalization program, they allocated so much money in their initial application, but once they got that money, they started to work. The contractors found out the poles were totally inadequate. They've been there for 50 years. Long story short, more money had to be obtained to take care of this program complete, and it has been done, but all of that extra money needed had to be approved. And it was through the Department of Transportation, Ohio, District 11. There was kind of an agreement with them and BHJ to obtain the additional funds, and justified why, of course, but obtain the funds, and later funds would be, I guess, adjusted to cover the amount of the increase for all those additional repairs. So that was done. That was a big part of it. And but as a result, the work and the process with regard to Lovers Lane, that process, because of the amount of money that had to be taken from the Lovers Lane project, it had to be that money was put into the Route 7 repairs and upgrade of the signal program. Right now, the application for widening of Lovers Lane is in the process of being presented, and hopefully it will be done here in the future. But projection of bidding of the contract, setting of the contract, and actual work started something like 2025 to maybe look at starting that program. With regard to, in the near future, down at the new bridge on the west side of the ramp area, there will be a new park and ride lot, if you want to call that, so that people that can park down there and utilize that, just like the one they have up on the north side of, near north side of 213 and Route 7. That's going to be an obligation of quite a bit of money. The big problem is the allocation with regard to Lover's Lane. That has increased in amount from initially about $175 million. You're talking about $2.20 million just to complete that project. Right now, the infrastructure, as far as the lighting, power company's been in, put in new poles, the water lines have been taken care of. They have to do some major work with regard to even consideration now, an update is to put sidewalks on the west side from Walgreens down a certain distance, houses-wise, 3 to 4 houses, put sidewalks on that side. On the east side, they're going to upgrade the sidewalks from the turnaround north, excuse me, on the east side, so that have better access for people walking to the mall. With regard to some of the other issues they had, I think a big allocation of time was spent on discussion concerning the Market Street Bridge in the future. West Virginia has applied tentatively for $175 million with regard to handling that bridge. That is not to say that that bridge will be eventually torn down or what, that hasn't been made. The decision hasn't been made, even though the bridge is in very poor condition. But West Virginia has set aside $35 million for the future with regard to whatever the decision is to replace that bridge that is being torn down, put a new one in, where proximity would be hopefully within that general area. So there was a detail with regard to the cost of the putting in a new bridge, the steps that had to be taken, and you're looking at a time frame, BHA has projected out something like 2025, because between now and 24 or 25, there's a period where they have to evaluate the condition, they have to get the bids, they have to create the design for the bridge. All that's going to take a while, so that bridge may not see a future with regard to being torn down and replaced for a few years. Other than that, a lot of other stuff with regard to money, and the West Virginia and Ohio present their current construction projects going on, but it's a rather long meeting, a lot of details, and I'm not going to get into.
Can I interrupt you a little?
The president's smiling.
So
Other than that, any questions with regard to those?
just, why the Market Street Bridge is so important, they gave that ratio, which I thought was very interesting. So for every million that the government puts in, they do a ratio of how many millions that produces. So the Wellsburg Bridge only is a 4 ratio. So for every 1 million that they put into that, they get 4 million out, like the business and traffic. So the Market Street Bridge is actually an 8. So it's a very highly traveled bridge for the area. But also what happened is that with the completion of the Lover's Lane, or the funding that came through with that, we actually might be able to get funding for the sidewalks on Caddis Road.
Yeah.
So we didn't think that we would get in those projects, so.
That's all new, that part there. the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
So they disperse money and grant money with carbon emissions, if you can save on carbon emissions, so sidewalks that didn't exist. Also traffic jams, so where there is traffic, if you can, do that, and also what he was saying with the death rate, any accidents. So that's looked at on this committee with the funding to reduce all, deaths and carbon. So it's pretty interesting how they get funding, and so how Wintersville, we can work towards getting funding.
That's amazing with the carbon emission. If you can improve a specific project, that means more money toward that project, just because you can reduce the carbon emission by vehicles in the area and driving. So they utilize that for a lot of the project. As much as they can, they'll use it. There are other programs that they utilize, BHJ, to increase the amount of funding from the government with these new different programs that are implemented by Congress. And so, anything else?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Lockhart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlene?
Good evening, Council Board.
Good evening.
Hello.
SVRTA, we had a meeting tonight before this meeting, and one of the main things right now is trying to get ready for our levy. And Rose Orsini, she's a high technology, she's getting ready. She works for Easy to Use. This is one sample. We had a couple meetings in December 2023, and now we're trying to have meetings this month in January. And she, with the marketing board, so she can get us ready for social media management, Facebook, Google Ad Network, and she's had the website trying to get us ready for this levy. And so far, it looks outstanding what she's doing. So we talked about that tonight. We talked about, as of now, the ridership 11.6%, and we talked about the Adam Street Properties, Ohio Department of Development grant. Right now, maybe because of the cold weather, no time frame yet. They're not even talking about starting to work on it, the contract work for it. So we gotta wait for that. And the collective data. The collective data wants to settle for $8,000 in total value, receive a full release, and all agreements between SVRTA and collective data would terminate. So we talked about that tonight. Also, we talked about Cross Creek Township. That's something big going on right now. They got in touch with us last month, over and over. We got back in touch with them, and now we tried to set up a meeting with them and the trustees, and we're not hearing anything. And we found out that all in all, that's a big route, and we don't know what happened. They're not getting back in touch with us right now. So we're working on that. Okay, and let me see what else. Oh, and it's also something big with the levy. We want to try to have the levy in July of 2024, But we've had notice that they're trying to back it and have it in November of 2024. So we're working on that. So, all in all, that was the summary of tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you. Okay, moving along to the mayor's report. December 21st, we spoke about the bids that came in for the dog park for Phase 1. And I don't know if it's in your packet or not.
We got it here.
Okay, we need to pick out who the contractor's going to be. And I don't know if anybody has, did you have that in?
So I have it in my report about the irregular bid or the misbid or the misquote that was going on with Border Patrol, that it was $222,000, but the new bid was $161,439, which made them the lowest bidder. But this was after the bid had been completed. So when we did the bid, a gentleman came in 2 minutes late. We did not accept his bid. A gentleman emailed a bid. We didn't accept his bid because he wasn't on the list. He didn't pay for the packet through Quicksall. So everybody that was there did their bid, and the bids stood as they stood. And the lowest one was Sweet Meadow Farms for $168,249.65. That was the lowest bid. And about 2 hours later, we get this email from Quicksall stating that there was a misquote on the bid. It was a Quicksall said that they made the mistake, and so they changed the bid from 222 to 161. But the owner, Jeremy Yeager, did accept that lowest bid at 161,439. So I talked to Quicksall today, and I told them that we would have a decision tonight because we had till the 16th of February to make a decision, or we'd have to rebid again. So.
Okay, so the three lowest bids was Sweet Meadow Farm at $168,249.65. The next one up was Double D Excavating at $183,808. And then the third one was Fort Steuben Maintenance at $190,280,000. So I need to get a motion from council to select the bid.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who made the mistake? Did
Quicksall did.
Quicksall made the mistake?
Yeah, Quicksall made the mistake, yes.
So why should we penalize another company because Quicksall made the mistake? All right,
It's kind of even playing field, right?
Yeah, but on that, they knew what the lowest bid was.
So, yeah, everybody knew what,
okay, they already knew.
yeah, we already knew what it was, yeah. Then they
Gotcha.
come back
Okay,
and
that's cool.
it just,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Because they started out at 222,000, then they came back with 161, which was the lowest bid, and that was after all the other bids were open.
Okay.
So, I'm going to read this, I'm going to correct this. Quicksall discovered the irregular in the bid amount of Border Patrol LLC. The bid resulted in the change to the bid order from what it was read aloud during the bid opening. The bid amount was read aloud for $222,909. When the mathematics of the bid packet was verified, the corrected bid amount was $161,439 for Border Patrol, making them the apparent lowest bidder. As he said, I spoke to Jeremy from Border Patrol, immediately discovered there was a mathematical error. Based off the verbal communication, Jeremy will honor the lower bid amount and complete the project shown in the bid documents. So yes, this was Quicksall's.
Okay. So it was a mathematical error on Quicksall's part.
Yes.
So we don't have a problem accepting this bid for
What does
For,
the,
for Sweet Meadow Farm, for 168, is that the one you're referring to?
what's Jake's
No,
opinion
Border
on
Patrol
this?
was the one that was wrong, right? Is that
Right.
correct?
Well,
Yes.
is that, in doing so, WEQA discovered an irregularity in the bid amount of Border Patrol. So does that mean that Border Patrol made the error, or I would like to I find that, the way I read that is that Border Patrol made the error, and then Quicksall discovered their error, alerted them of it, and then they said, this is what we think it actually is, and then they confirmed that lower amount. But I would like to talk to, or have somebody talk to Quicksall and see if that's right, because the way I'm reading that is that Quicksall caught Border Patrol's error
Yeah.
Okay.
and fixed it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm not sure. Is that what you think, or are you
Yeah.
thinking that Quicksall made the error? Because that's what you guys were saying before. I'm not, from that letter, I'm not clear.
Isn't that the letter from Quicksall?
Right. It just says they discovered an irregularity in the bid amount of Border Patrol.
Right, so
So I would
Border
assume that
Patrol
Border
submitted
Patrol made the error
made the error.
based off of that sentence, but
You were in the room when the bids were opened, correct?
Yes.
So after the bids were all opened and everybody knew what everybody else bid,
Yes.
that's when Border Patrol came back with the other bid, which was the lowest.
This was way after. This was after everything, the meeting ended. And then they went back to the office and sent me an email. So everybody there was, I think 11 people there, 11 companies, actual people, representatives, and they all wrote down everything and wrote the bids, and then that was it.
Well, aren't you violating the bid process if you allow somebody to change the numbers on their bid?
I would think so, yes. And there was another company that didn't even show up, so they were out.
Could we get
So-
that clarified and then have Jake make a comment on, when do we have to have this in by?
Well, we have till, the 60-day bid hold expires on February 16th.
they're saying that they can-
So we still could probably catch this in the next meeting. Could we have Jake go ahead and just clarify that, where the mistake was made, who made the mistake? Because if Border Patrol made the mistake, they should, they should be, addressed appropriately. So I think Jake's going to come back with clarification and our options. And if it's February, after our first meeting, we should be able to, wrap this up in the next meeting.
Yeah.
Or have a special meeting beforehand. Does that give you enough time, Jake?
Yeah, I think I'll probably me and Jesse maybe, me and Jesse are meeting tomorrow morning, so I think we could probably call them right then and just clarify this letter and see if they caught an error of Border Patrol,
Okay.
or if they themselves somehow miscalculated this.
Are you fine with that, Jess? You
I'm
think
fine,
it's-
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Because if they miscalculated it, I think it would be, like you said, it would be okay for Border Patrol, because they would have submitted it correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
But if it was,
Okay. Well, we just need some clarification. Thanks, Jake. I think that's a smart way to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll wait to hear back on that. And we need a motion from council to place our new fiscal officer, Rachel Morrison, on the authority list for banking and online banking for the village of Wintersville.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Merriman?
Yeah.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
And move on to the administrative report.
All right, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. All right. All right, so we had the audit, our yearly audit was completed. It was signed off on by the state auditor, so it's out there.
It's in your packet.
Yep, myself and the mayor, Penny Scarpone and Jason Mattern attended that meeting. And what all the findings were corrected over the past year, so we're fine with that. We did say at the end of the meeting that we wanted to go to a biannual audit, and we have to submit a formal letter, which I do have typed, that requests that we are going to go to a biannual audit. This will save us money because the village allotted $19,000 a year for a yearly audit, and on findings that were never corrected. So once we submit this letter, we can have the state do the audit, or we can have a third party do it as well. That's going to save us a lot of money. So we should probably guesstimate from talking to Melanie, probably about $10,000, $11,000 for a biannual audit, so that's good. So I do have the letter typed up, and then we will send that out here soon. the water meter project, we have about 550 meters left to install out of 1,800. I got a list from Newman. They send me a list like every week or 2 weeks. Next week or so, they're going to be hitting the businesses, which they can just, come to the businesses as well. The problem that we're having is on these meters, in the original bid, not all businesses have 3/4 inch meters. Some have 1 inch, some have 2 inch, some have 3 inch. So George from the water department was going around on Fridays when they're not putting meters in and trying to get exactly what business has what so we can get these ordered. So that's kind of slowing us down a little bit. But I also talked with Teddy as well about the situation and trying to get these meters all listed so we can get them done. So there's 550 meters that need to be installed. You know if you got a new meter or not. If you have a pit meter, you don't have to worry about it. We've already done it, probably. So please call in to Newman Plumbing. It's 888-437-0078, Monday through Friday between 7:30 and 3:30. You can email them. That's newmanmeters@gmail.com. That's NEWMANMETERS@gmail.com to get scheduled. Because once we get down to the wire, once we get everything ready to go, and there's going to be some people that are going to do this, they're going to want to test us. The meter belongs to the village. It does not belong to you. We're putting in new meters. If by that time comes, we need to get these meters changed out. That's all we're asking for, so we can get this project completed and we can move on. That's all we're asking for. So if you work, we need to make special arrangements. We will do our best to do that so we can get your meter put in. We're not going to come in your house while you're not home to change your meter. You will be there, but we have to get this done. So the next meeting, I'll have another updated on how many meters we have left. And then we'll go to the next step if we have to. But we just want to get this done. The fuel tank project. So I was having a difficult time getting hold of the last person to do the software installation and things for the new pump. So I was given another name of a subject from Fuel Tech in St. Clairsville, Mr. Robinson. Talked to him this morning. He's going to come up, take a look at it, and get it done. The concrete's in, the 2 tanks are in, the pump is up. We just got to get it installed, get the software hooked up to the internet, and we can start filling the tanks and getting fuel. So that's a good thing. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so, I can say it's done or it's almost done. If you go to the back page, I printed everything on the back. So the USDA and loan grant. So when I came in here about a year ago, this project for the USDA started in 2022. So originally there was 4 vehicles going to be purchased. It went down to 3 because of the prices during COVID, and then it went down to 2. When I came on, we had approximately $7,000 left that we needed to spend for that money that was earmarked of $350,000. And if you go through my stapled package, you'll see the USDA stuff. So we were getting ready to tally up for the end of the year. We want to get this closed because the issue is we have 2 trucks that were ordered, a medium-duty International and a heavy-duty International plow truck. Finally, the medium-duty came in. It's at Ace in Zanesville, but it's not going to get outfitted until March. The plow truck is not even here yet. So doing all our finances and things, we come up to a thing where there's $57,590 that was not spent yet. I don't know why. When I got hired last year, the other person who I talked to, she's no longer there. She moved on. It was $7,000. So for $7,000 to spend the rest of the money that was already earmarked, we bought an enclosed trailer. We did our bids. Tom's Equipment in Burgettstown won the bid, and the nice lady there for 11 months still has our trailer waiting for us. They never sold it. And so God bless them on that. I says, we're going to buy it. And I sent them a letter to stating that, listen, if you have to sell it, we understand. We're going to buy it. She understood. Fast forward, I have $57,000 that I have to spend. So talked with the police department. The police department needs another cruiser. He needed outfitted. So I spoke with the chief. I spoke with the captain. He's getting prices right now. And if I can, one more thing that we do desperately need, that we use a lot, is that aero board that you see that we tow around. The aero board it's ready to go. I mean, it's to the point where the metal's thin, paper thin, and just chipping off. So the gentleman that we bought our portable traffic lights from is under state purchasing. I don't have to get bids. I could get one from there for around $5,300. So depending on what the police vehicle and installation is going to be, and this aero board I would like to get, we can move forward. And once we get the second truck in and it gets outfitted, we could start closing the loan. We're not closing the loan because of the fact that all the equipment's not in yet. So, but that will save us, because if we close it, like you say, in March or April, we won't have to make our first payment till the following year, which will save us money, which is going to be nice. So if council's okay with it, I would like to see if you guys would agree that if we have enough money, we can buy a cruiser and we can buy an aero board. If the aero board we can't afford, we get the police car. That's going to be the main priority. So police department, we can get a car. The water department's going to get a medium-duty truck, and the street department is going to get their heavy-duty vehicle. Also, in our past meetings, we initially put an ordinance out to bid out that red dump truck. Am I correct? Okay, so we haven't bid it out yet. Thank God we didn't, because I come to find out when we have our Monday morning meetings with the supervisors that truck only has 16,000 miles on it. But it looks like it's got 450,000 miles on it. So, due to the people that are working here that take care of their stuff, we're going to keep that truck. That truck is going to go to the sewer department. And what's going to happen there is we pay a company to haul out sludge. And they usually take it out to a property that will agree to have it. And they charge us to take it out. Well, we have that truck. We can keep it down at the sewer department because they could use it. We'll haul it out ourselves for no charge, other than what because we just got the brakes done on it a couple weeks ago, and put a little TLC into it. That truck will run for a very long time, the way we take care of stuff. So that's a good thing as well. So that's a win-win for everybody. That's kind of where we're at on that. Lost my train of thought. So the new village website, Captain Fabian's still working on it. He's about done. He's going to have us look at it first before it goes out, and we'll have everybody else take a look at it. The new Facebook, Wintersville Facebook page, it's there. I was talking with Solicitor Lynn. We're having our meeting tomorrow anyways, but we're going to go over a couple more things before we start doing what we're going to do. But the goal of this Facebook page is to have no comments, none at all. And Councilman Mattern sent me an email. He advised of it's got to be strict rules and regulations, which I totally 100% agree on that. It's an informative page only because I don't post on Facebook and I don't have time to do that, and nor will I'm going to. It's for information, for things that are going on in the village to help people out. We'll put out pictures. We'll put out, hey, there's road closures. There is water breaks. It's all informative. It's all it's going to be. And that's going to save a lot of time. And I'm really big on that. I think a lot of everybody else is as well. So that's what we're going there. We're not going to do anything until we get a letter typed out. Councilman or Solicitor Lynn's understands that I'm on the same page with him as well as he is with me. everybody's going to be transparent about how this is going to go. And I think it could be a good thing. I think it's about it. Any questions or concerns or anything?
Jess, I just had one comment on the audit. I thought it was a good audit. Every penny's accounted for, so everything's good there. We went to an annual audit. There was some irregularities several years ago that warranted us to go to an annual audit. And it was just for safety for the village and the finances, okay? In talking with Melanie, and just listen to her talk, and Penny can speak on this too. There's safeguards now out there by properly using our accounting system, and also by segregation of duties. And I think by instituting these safeguards, going to a biannual audit every other year is the way to go. The key thing here is there are safeguards in place to prevent what happened in the past happen again. And Melanie is very adamant about that as well. So going to an annual or a biannual audit is pretty good. Also on the amount of $19,000 a year audit, I think that could have been reduced if we were just using the system a little bit better, more organized, and having things prepared. It seemed, in talking with some of the auditors, it was an area of improvement, which we've done over the last 2 years with Melanie coming on board and just making sure we use our resources to the best that we can. And welcome aboard, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I have two questions.
Yeah.
On that $19,000 a year, is that a flat rate for the audit, or does that go up whenever there are mistakes found?
That was just the amount that they earmarked for it. I mean, it could have been a little bit less, a little bit more, but they put in $19,000 a year for the audit. So that's just the money that they allotted for it.
Okay. And do we have any idea how much money we would save by hauling out our own sludge?
I can get that for you. I'll just have a look at the bill
Teddy.
on it. Yeah,
Okay.
Teddy, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Any unfinished business?
No, but getting back to that, is there some EPA regulations for us hauling that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, moving on to new business.
I just talked to the solicitor earlier on a couple issues that may involve the code enforcement officer. I think we're good with that. Congratulations on your Congresswoman promotion there. And also congratulations to Mike Petrell. I just found out when I walked on in, he had a baby girl, so congratulations and game on. I was telling all these other guys, game on. My daughter's 24, and it was a challenge. I had a lot of good times, a lot of fun times. But boy, it was challenging. It was challenging. But congratulations to Mike on his success there.
Anybody else? And I don't believe we have any transfers. And can I get a motion to pay the bills?
So moved on paying the bills.
Second.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
Okay, a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
This meeting's adjourned. Our next meeting will be February 1st, 2024.